and welcome. This is Kevin, also known as AKAAWOL, and welcome to part 2 of Diamonds and Rainbows. So, if you didn't catch the first one, this series is basically based off of a Blindside Creations that was given to me by Minutecraft. And am I doing this right? Yeah, so basically I didn't like the pattern that I was given, and I was going to try to change it, and then things got kind of weird, and I started coming up with these like alternatives of how the pattern could have been. And now my goal is to see whether or not I can actually make these patterns actually work. So as you might know, you can't just put colors where you want them. It doesn't work like that, at least not on the normal knots. You can with, if you're doing alpha patterns. Alpha patterns, you can pretty much do anything you want. It doesn't matter. But it doesn't work that way with the normal knots. And I basically had opened up GIMP, that's the program that we're using here, and I had made the pattern wrong when I first went to go back and do it, and I was like, wait, this is wrong, but it's interesting, and maybe it can work, maybe it won't. And then I realized, like, the whole big thing here is showing you how I would figure out whether or not a pattern could work or not. And yeah, so as you can see, basically we're just going with this like square diamond with a dot in the center, which is similar to yesterday's, except for there like was an outer thing around that, which sort of made it like really different. So these are like smaller kind of diamonds. So you can see, like, I skipped the space that way I can see like where this diamond is, because going around that is just kind of easier to wrap my head around. And then yeah, okay, yeah, see, I have no idea if this is gonna work. So I'm half expecting one of these 5 to fail. I don't know which one it will be, I don't know, but my thought process in this is, if one fails, I can show you why it fails, and we can, you know, we'll live with the consequences. But so far the first one went okay. We'll try this one now. So we just kind of go through the rainbow. Again, I say this all the time, I just use the rainbow because it's easier to use when you're trying to map it out. If you try to do a fade, sometimes trying to tell the difference between a couple different shades of something is far more difficult to understand and follow. So this is kind of convenient with the yellow, it falls right onto that center line. Mind you, you could use the guides for like mapping out like where the orange, where reds, all that stuff is. It's not really that necessary. And if you remember, the green just gets 1. There's one of the colors has to be reduced to just a single, and I do that with the green. Oops, I missed a yellow down here. All right, blue. So the program we're using here is GIMP. It's a free program. It's available on Linux and Macs and Windows. It's free. It's an awesome program. The graph paper comes from my website, akaawol.com. And I have all different sizes depending on how many strings you need. Despite the fact that there's 12 strings coming down, I consider this a 6-string pattern because there's just 6 strings going into the loop. Like when I'm cutting up the strings, like that's how I count. So I know that not everybody does that, and I know that it causes some confusion. I don't mean for it to be confusing, but so I'm trying to find a path that's nice and easy. I'm hoping this is right. All right, so there's our purple. And okay. I'm trying to keep the blue off to the right. Sorry, my brain stopped there for a second. I was like, what side? Right side. Because I still need to like leave room for the green. That kind of threw me off. Like it seems like it should go straight, but I guess it really can't. Okay, that green looks scary. Hang on, let's do like we did last time. Let's start over here. Sure. So yeah, if you can't tell, I'm kind of winging this. I can't tell you that there is a definitively smart way to do this. Some of it's got to be a little bit of the instinct from having done bracelets before. It's scary, but it's working. Yeah, so when I had the red crossover, I could see that the yellow or that the orange could come through this way, and that actually works. So far, well, it's about whether or not the dark colors can still make it through. We'll see. This is tense for me. I don't know if you guys can tell. Like this is like, and see, we can't. You know, the orange couldn't go straight across. It has to come to this one because there's a thing here. Kind of really has to go that way. And I'm trying to stay consistent, like before this one kind of went through and did that. So I'm trying to stay consistent here. And after this, I guess that makes sense. This is one of those, it's just, You kind of just keep trying and hope that it's working. Okay. I can see this green is going to be a problem. See, this couldn't go through the other way because the orange was already coming through this way. So this had to come back. So yes, actually making this bracelet might actually present to be a bit more of a challenge, just because there's a lot of zigzags going on just to get colors where they need to be. If we can get this green to go, though, I think we got this one. So far so good. Fingers crossed. All right. So now this green could only have come from right there, because there's just no other way to... Well, I guess you could sort of... No. All right. It has to go this way. Which is weird. It passed underneath the blue like that. Oh, wow. How does it get to here? Is that possible? So then this dark one bounces this way, and this dark one bounces this way? What? Okay. Like I was saying, this is... this is going to be a challenge. So then the brown comes this way. Oh, wow. Okay, check this out. So this brown will have to come in and come over this way, and then coming through here will be this one coming this way. So this diamond thing here starts out... Wow, that's... Okay, so it's working. It's really... If you don't get your knots really nice and taut and have a really good tension, this one could really look bad. This is some top level. Is this really gonna work? It's... All right, let's... I have all the colors in. I mean, by right, this looks like we did it. Let's just kind of follow a string along and see where it goes. See how this comes down and then bounces back to allow the green to go there. Yeah, there was a minute there. I didn't think this was going to actually fly, but like it didn't seem like there was a path left for the green. Like the bigger ones, the reds, the oranges and stuff, they're a little bit easier. It's the... Yeah, look at that. All right, let's pick another one. This one. Yeah, see? And it just bounces back this way. So for sure, the dark colors are not going to get used evenly. Some of these, the way they travel, it's obvious that that's... Wow. Wow. And it's kind of neat, like doing it like I'm doing here, you can kind of just trace one string and kind of see how it goes. Yeah, this is, look at how crazy zigzag that was. Not as weird as what the green does, to be honest. That green, the way that it separates out these pieces here, that's really a thing. Like that's, but I mean, essentially we figured out where we wanted colors to be. And then we got the colors to all be in those places. So that's a win. Despite the whole how difficult it is and how weird it was to get it there, it worked. So yeah. All right, let's finish these up. Incredible. So hopefully this has given you guys some inspiration to try out some changes, maybe try a pattern that's different. Like I said, I kind of half expected to be demonstrating why a pattern couldn't work, because that seemed to almost be on the table there. But we're 2 for 2 so far. Yeah. And if you compare this pattern with yesterday's pattern, and even with the original inspirational pattern, which was 94521 on Bracelet book, by the way, if you compare them, they're all quite different. Similar. They all have a similarity to it, but they're all quite different. Control C, Control V, flip. Anchor the layer, and there we have it. So you can see this one's like way different. You just got these smaller diamonds with the rainbow out around it. So that's really cool. All right. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. Thank you very much for sticking around this long. Thank you to my Patreon supporters who make this stuff possible. If you enjoyed the video, please hit like. It really helps out a lot. And if you haven't already, please subscribe. And as always, don't get your strings in a bunch.